Conversation with the George Michael Singers
Episode. Do you know what episode it is? Take a while.
5.
No. Higher.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Higher.
6.
Yes. Episode
Well, here we are. We
6.
do not have wine, just to prove
No,
it.
we're having coffee. Cheers.
coffee. Cheers.
We're in the sanctum. In the inner sanctum.
Yeah. No, we're in the beautiful Sanctum Hotel in Soho.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful sunny day
Lovely
outside.
sunny day, which is why we have
Sunglasses on.
Yeah, not often we get sunshine, but here we are.
Yeah. We're
yeah.
actually doing what we're doing today. We've had great meeting with our production company and our promoters.
Yes.
Getting talking all things tour.
Yes, and
It's
some
so
exciting news towards the end of the week. Well, I don't know when this is going out. So the news should be already out by the time this comes out.
Yeah. So this will be old news then.
Yeah, it'll be it shouldn't be old news.
Fake news. No, it's not.
What's your name? Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. Fake news. Fake news.
So, yesterday we did some promotion, and it was really. She's forgotten already. It was so emotional.
But that's what I do.
You blocked it out.
When there's any sort of emotion, I just go block.
It out, yeah.
Which is why it was so emotional.
You had a hard
found
day
it really
yesterday.
tough. Yeah, I found it really
you
tough.
really had a hard day. We went to Goring, and we haven't been back to Goring since George passed away. So it was. It was really hard. I had to really get my head around it, and was in a different space to you when we got there.
So Shirley and Jay came separately in another car, so I was in a car on my own.
Yeah.
That
so I
didn't
guess
help. No. And also I had time to, and I accidentally pulled into the Swan pub / hotel, which I stayed at when George had, I think it was his 50th. No, it's not his 50th, so his 40th. Or was it just a summer party?
I think it was a summer party. That wasn't his. No.
Was there no big special thing?
No. Oh, there was a big party. There was, but I don't think you stayed at the Swan that time.
Yeah, I did.
Did you stay there?
Whatever. There was a big special event.
I'm going to be back because I'm turning on some here. Keep talking though.
So I drove into the Swan pub and I got all even more emotional because it just triggered so much. It was beautiful memories, really fun, because I don't have any sad memories of George I do. Actually, I do. That's a lie.
Goring, though?
Not at Goring.
No,
not
that's
at Goring.
So
no.
Yeah, so I was in a different headspace when I got there, because I started to think when they first suggested to us that we do the interviews and stuff there, myself and Joe, our
first gut reaction
it was like, absolutely not. We don't want anything,
because we didn't want people to think that we were trying to, I don't know, because that's the place that he passed away, and we just didn't want anyone to, I don't know, we didn't want them to be insensitive or
also being associated with the house now, because as most of you know, I think it's used for like an Airbnb or something, and what we didn't, which I find actually quite distasteful, to be honest, but I know people are, I don't know, I guess people are enjoying going there, so that's
each to their own.
But it's not something that we wanted to be associated with, so we were a little bit kind of, anyway, as it turns out, the lady that was doing the interview was absolutely lovely. She's a huge George Michael fan, and she really wanted it to be done nice. And basically she went around the town, didn't she, and was basically talking to people about George and how fondly he's remembered. And then, I think hopefully, we haven't seen the piece yet, but I'm hoping that it's going to be exactly what we wanted. But I travelled down with Jay, so we were talking and we were chatting and laughing, and I had to get myself in a space where I just wanted to start thinking about the happy times that we had there, the summer parties that we had there, and I remember taking like my sister and her husband there, and I don't know, it's just like things, this is how open George was. It wasn't just like, you know, he knew me and you could come, you could like, oh, bring your family. And so some of that was, you know, it was really, it was great for my sister to come and because she's not in the music, she's not in the music industry, so.
Pat's great.
Pat, so my sister Pat, the funny thing is,
it is Pat.
But the funny thing is, Pat is the only person that's actually had a picture with George and Andrew. I'm like, hold on, I don't have.
Hang on a second. There's a picture of your sister and Andrew and George in the same picture.
Either side of her. I'm like, how do you even how did you even do that? But anyway, she was kind of part of Wham. She felt like she was part of Wham. But yeah, so I started thinking about all the like real fun times we had, and me and Jay were talking about that. So by the time I got there, I was in that space. But you were on your own on the journey, and that, I think, being on your own, thinking about going.
Yeah, when I was driving through, and as I just explained that I accidentally drove into the Swan Hotel, which held a lot of memory for me because on this particular party that I'd gone to at George's, which I've got a whole story about. It just brought back amazing, funny, really funny memories. But it's just, you know, I don't know. I felt very, very emotional yesterday, and it was it's quite funny because it's normally Missy that's the one that over here who's normally the tearful one, and I'm like, yeah, fine, stiff upper lip, and I'm not very good at sort of showing vulnerability. I get a bit more nervous, you know. I just like, okay, you know, and I just don't deal with stuff at the time, and if I can distract myself, I will do that. So yesterday was massive trigger moment. So I don't know how the interview is going to turn out because
it was lovely. It was just you being.
Well, I was being myself. We're always ourselves.
Yeah, but it was just you. You're not used to showing that soft side of you, and I just think yesterday it was out there. But like we said, everything we do is completely organic, and I think it's nice for people to see you a little bit like vulnerable too.
But in the interview yesterday, I shared one story about a summer party that George had in Goring, and it was so late at night. It was a summer party, and it was very, very late at night, so late that the sun was coming up, and we'd done a whole night. And I remember we were all kind of lolloping around on the grass, and you know, all having a laugh and a joke. And then I don't know how it happened, but somebody was making daisy chains and then ended up plonking it on my head. And Marco, who's gay, beautiful, gorgeous looking man, but he's gay as they come, lovely human being. He was the main chef at Psalm Studios. So I was very close to Marco because I used to go to record at Psalm Studios a lot with George. And as we said before, sometimes you'd rock up at the studio because George had called you to come in to do vocals. And sometimes you wouldn't even do any vocals, and so I'd end up chatting to Marco and eating all the lovely food that was at Psalm. So anyway, we're at this party, and someone had made a daisy chain, plonked it on my head, and Marco's like, "Oh, darling, look, we should get married." So anyway, we did this whole wedding ceremony. So I got married to Marco. Obviously, it's a fake wedding ceremony because he's gay for a start, and there obviously wasn't a vicar there, and even if there was, we wouldn't have officially got married anyway.
No.
But I was just saying, I think because I was a bit schlozzled, I was trying to remember whether I know George was part of the ceremony, but I can't remember whether he was actually the vicar or my bridesmaid.
He's probably a bridesmaid.
But we had this whole wedding ceremony. It was just, honestly, it was so much fun.
Well, that
so
was nice
much
that
fun.
You told that. Yeah, I know, but you felt like you didn't tell that story properly because you weren't in that frame like how you are now.
I know, I did.
But you did.
Well, look, they might use it, they may not use it, I don't know. I told a couple of funny stories, but I was a bit like, I couldn't catch my words. I was so triggered yesterday.
I know, but it was really like strange being there, I have to say, because although I was okay, I was really quite shaky. Yeah. And well, I said I was like full of goosebumps. I was full of goosebumps, like the whole interview. But it was really lovely, and then the lady that did the interview she was so nice, and she was so excited and just loved George. She'd been to like so many things, and she had all these pictures of him, and she was showing her phone, and she had all these pictures of, and it had my George, didn't it, on her file. It was like,
And she had actually had a picture of George as her screensaver.
as a screensaver.
So that's how much of a fan.
Nice. So we're
so
glad
it
that we did the interview.
Yeah, even though we didn't want to do it because it just didn't feel right at the time. But actually, she was incredibly respectful, and we were saying that, you know, we will always be mindful about being respectful to George because we're protecting his brand.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you know, we were sort of explaining how amazing that the George Michael estate have been, how supportive they've been, and how much they've helped us as well. And we were also saying that they were the ones that actually named us in the end.
It's true, yeah.
Because we were originally called Cowboys and Angels because we were trying to be, I don't know,
Well, again, we were just trying
to be respectful and not assume that, you know,
not using his name.
Yeah.
And they were like, but you are the George Michael singers, why would you not use it? Actually, that makes more sense. Way more sense. But yeah, no, it's great to have the estate are brilliant, and like we always say, but we did say in the interview that we run things by them, no matter what. And it's not like they're what's the word? Oh my God, what's the word? When you're like someone gives
taking
you a
over, like taking
approval.
over. Endorsing.
Endorsing, yeah. That's it. My brain's just gone.
And I was really trying to work out what you're trying to say.
What do I
Well,
mean?
you could normally work out what I'm saying.
I know. I was like,
Sorry.
what's the word I'm looking for? But yeah, it's not like there's a big stamp of, we've endorsed this project, because they have their own ideas of what they want to do. So it's not like they're not, like I said, it's not like a big stamp, but they are happy for us to do what we're doing, and they're very supportive and giving us all the help that we need, and that we can run anything by them. And they gave us a beautiful image of George to use on our shows, which is amazing.
It's like he's on the stairway to heaven, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
Well,
he's just like sitting down,
like
looking
that.
at us and smiling. It's just perfect.
Yeah. And anyone
it's such a
that's
perfect
obviously
image.
been to the shows would have seen it. But it's we also have like a sort of like a star backdrop, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's sort of
In the stars.
as well. So that's really, really nice. But the last time we're not in the car. How nice is that?
I know, we're not in the car. Can we take a little break though?
What do you need? Lip gloss?
No, I'm
No?
all right
Oh,
for lip gloss, but
need
I
the
do.
toilet?
Yes.
Okay.
Is
There's
that all right?
always something.
We're going to take a little break and then we'll come back and give you the second half.
Okay, see you in a bit.